Hello! Today I'm doing a spoiler-free review of the novel I just finished reading, Isles of the Emberdark by Brandon Sanderson. Now, I've read pretty much everything Sanderson has written at this point, so of course I had to read Isles of the Emberdark. Somehow this one slipped past my radar. I don't know how that happened, but somehow I didn't know about it until it released. Pretty fun surprise for me. It was neat to find out after starting it that Isles of the Embrdark was written in a really unique way. See, this new novel expands on Sanderson's novella Sixth of the Dusk, which was released back in 2014. I actually read Sixth of the Dusk and enjoyed it a lot, but it's not necessary to have read it to enjoy Isles of the Emberdark, because Sanderson weaves in chapters from the novella into Isles of the Emberdark as flashbacks that give you all the story elements that you need. So now that you've gotten a little backstory on the novel, you might be wondering what it's about and whether it might be something you'd enjoy reading. So I'm gonna do my best today to answer those questions for you. First, I'm gonna read you the blurb so you can kind of get an idea of what this story is about. All his life, Sixth of the Dusk has been a traditional trapper of aviar, the supernatural birds his people bond with, on the deadly island of Patji. Then, one fateful night, he propels his people into a race to modernize before they can be conquered by the ones above, invaders from the stars who wish to exploit the aviar. But it's a race they're losing, and Dusk fears his people will lose themselves in the effort. When a chance comes to sail into the expanse of the Emberdark, beyond a mystical portal, Dusk sets off to find his people's salvation with only a canoe, his birds, and all the grit and canniness of a Patji trapper. Elsewhere in the Emberdark is a young dragon chained in human form, Starling of the starship Dynamic. She and her ragtag crew of exiles are deep in debt and on the brink of losing their freedom. So when she finds an ancient map to a hidden portal between the Emberdark and the physical realm, she seizes the chance at a lucrative discovery. These unlikely allies might just be the solution to each other's crises. In their search for independence, Dusk and Starling face perilous bargains, poisonous politics, and the destructive echo of a dead god. All right, so now you have an idea about the story. Next, I'm going to tell you some reasons why you might enjoy this novel. First, if you enjoy the Cosmere, as I do, and seeing elements from Sanderson's various works all kind of stitched together, this one might be right up your alley. This is a no spoiler review, so I won't say too much, but I certainly think it's setting things up for the next arc of Stormlight Archive. Second, if you enjoy stories where characters are trying to find their place in an evolving world, this will be a novel for you. Third, if you're a fan of adventure and exploration in your novels, you will like this one. Dusk's journey into this mysterious Emberdark it's full of danger and mystery, and I think that if those kind of things sound good to you, then you will probably enjoy this one. Fourth, if you like stories with multiple POVs and enjoy watching how their unique journeys kind of start way over here and come together to connect, this one might also be for you. Fifth, last, if you enjoy magical birds, this one might be for you. That's probably a more niche audience, but if you are in that audience of magical bird lovers, then I think you will probably enjoy this. All right, well, it wouldn't be a proper review if I didn't share some reasons that you may not like this one. First, the plot was fun, and the Sanderlanche, For those of you who are not in the know, this is the term for Brandon's typical style of plotting where things speed up and come together at the end. It was satisfying, but I found it a little bit predictable, which may be a con for you if you like something a bit more twisty. Maybe this was just something only I thought, though, so take that with a grain of salt. Second, if you haven't read a bunch of Sanderson's work, this one will still be fun, and you could still go into it and just enjoy it and take it for what it is. But I think you'll be missing out on a lot of Easter eggs that are probably a part of the enjoyment for this one. Okay, so I hope that quick run through helped you decide if you'd like to read this book or not. I thought it was a very fun read, and I think I would rate it probably 4 out of 5 stars. I wasn't blown away by it, but it did keep my attention throughout, and it had some really fun moments at the end. You know, I got that little emotional tug on your heartstrings kind of satisfying ending that, you come to expect from Sanderson's novels. If you enjoy Brandon's work, you know exactly what you're getting here. It's kind of a lighthearted popcorn novel. It feels like it could be adapted to the screen by Disney with like a PG rating. For some reason, though, I did find Starling, the second POV character, to be maybe missing something. She had a flaw, but it felt so minor that she sort of felt maybe like too perfect to me. So her story didn't necessarily grab me as much, and that's okay. Luckily, Dusk as a character really hooked me. The jaded old trapper being kind of pushed aside by an evolving world was a really fun personality to go on an adventure with. It's something that I really enjoyed. So there it is. Go out and buy this book if any of that sounds appealing to you. And we will catch you next time. Cheers.